What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, along with Big G. Welcome, everybody, to Steelers Almighty and the Big Show, man. Thank everybody for being in here as you guys are starting to trickle in. Appreciate everybody showing up, man. We have got a lot going on today. We got a lot to talk about. Look, the draft is right around the corner, so obviously we're going to talk about that. Let me kind of break down what it is that we are doing tonight. First off, Maurice Jones-Drew came up today with his running back rankings for the draft. He's got a top 7. I haven't seen it as of yet. Me and G are going to break it down. I heard there were some surprises on there, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Also, going to talk a little bit as far as me and Big G. We're going to have. Well, first, we're going to talk about the Steelers press conference today. Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan had a press conference today. We're going to discuss that, some of the ins and outs, some of the highlight points. We'll listen to a little bit of it, then we'll talk about it. And then last but not least, Big G and Big B's, the Big Show's ping pong draft, the last one before the draft. We're going to have that again today. There's some movement. There's some players moving up, moving down, getting off the board, some jumping on the board. Again, just the first round picks. So make sure everybody sticks around for that. Going to have a good time today. Going to have a real good time today. Again, live chat. Let's keep it lively and fun. We got super chat members in here. We got Luke Cage is in the house. Appreciate members. Thank you, guys. We got Mr. Leonard Dodd. He is in the house as always. As always, and I always say as always, got Jimmy K coming in. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being in here. Where's Arch Baby Doll? There's Arch Baby Doll. You know Arch Baby Doll is always in here supporting the channel. So we appreciate everybody being in here today, man. We got a lot going on. There's Forever. What's going on, Forever 412? What's happening? What's happening, man? So we're going to keep it lively. You see Big G, he's got the trade sign going on right now. He's ready to trade. He is ready for the Steelers to make a trade in this draft, man. So, again, everybody, super chats are wide open. You know how, if you want to help support the channel, you know exactly how to do that to get your comment, question, or your rant up on the screen. Also, memberships. Again, you know how that works. Memberships we always recognize you in the chat and bring up your comment, question, or rant up on the screen. Big G, brother, how is it going today?
Man, let's get it lit up, man. It's T minus 48 and counting.
Yes.
We need the chat to do this thing tonight. Listen, this the last show till we go live, dog. We got to get all out, get some clarity about what the Steelers are going to do. And I'm starting right off the bat. Trade. I don't care which way you like it, which way you go, up or down. It don't matter to me. Absolutely. We got to do some trading because we need some draft picks. So let's do what we do on Almighty, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Absolutely, man.
Let's go.
Got a lot of people in the chat. They're already talking about drinking, Big G. We just started, and they're already trying to drink. Look, I tell you this. Yesterday, before we get started on the show, we talked about yesterday on the live, we talked about getting Steeler Almighty alcoholic shirts and getting some of those made. The chat was in, Big G. The chat was in. They want the shirts made. They want Steelers Almighty alcoholic shirts. They were 100% in. Get them out as soon as possible, Big G. I'm like, my goodness.
Run the merch.
Yeah.
Run the merch, man. Almighty alcoholics. And B, we could have different tiers.
Absolutely.
We could go Thunderbird alcoholics, E&J alcoholics, Wild Irish Rose alcoholics. Whatever kind of way you want to make the shirt, let's do it. All the way. Almighty needs some alcoholic Steelers chat fam shirts. Absolutely.
We do. Last night, Big G, they were talking about Night Train. They were running Night Train. I'm like, my goodness, man.
Yeah. Y'all don't be stealing our copyright stuff either, man. Just because we put it out there.
Man.
That's our stuff, man. It's LLC is already established. We didn't already said it. So we're going to get you for intellectual property if you try to get our shirts.
Absolutely.
But the shirt is on the way. The shirt is on the way.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, just as a quick reminder, man, another way to help support the show, remember to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. So if you guys are in here and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But more importantly, man, hit that like button. We want to try to get as many people in here as possible. Make sure that algorithm is popping for us tonight. So let's get into this. Maurice Jones-Drew, for people that don't know, former NFL running back, pretty good running back, not Hall of Fame worthy, but pretty good running back in his day. He came out with a list of the top 7 running backs in the NFL draft. Now, I didn't see it. I don't think Big G saw it, but I've heard some things about it. So we're going to break down that list, man, and see exactly what he thinks. So first off, let's just start at the top, man. Let's just start at the top. MJD's big board. Ashton Genty. Big G, is he the best running back in this draft?
Hell no. He's all the hype is around him. Now he's a good running back. He's a first round draft pick. But no. He's 5'8", 215 or 16 pounds.
Yeah.
He didn't run the 40-yard dash on purpose, dog.
Correct.
Because he gonna run a 4.5. He ain't running no 4.4. I'm just gonna put it to you like that. And it's a whole gang of running backs that run 4.4s in this draft. That's bigger than him, stronger than him, and tape is better than his. He didn't play big time ball. He had a serviceable game against Oregon, but then played against Penn State. That's a legit defense, and you saw what happened to him. They was out there cracking him. Right. So no, hell no, he ain't number one. Stop that, MJD. Stop that.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like I love MJD. I love what he does on NFL Network, but again, and look, it's not like people don't like Genty. I think Genty's good, but I don't think Genty's the best running back in this draft. I don't think he is. But that don't mean he's fourth. That don't mean he's third. I just don't think that he's first. But we're splitting hairs. But you're right as far as that 40-time Big G. He didn't run it for a reason. It wasn't because he was trying to show everybody how fast he was. I can assure you of that. Like when Lamar Jackson didn't run the 40 a couple years ago, Lamar Jackson was proving a point saying, you guys are not going to make me a running back. You're not going to make me a wide receiver. Get out on the field and see how fast I am while I'm playing quarterback. And he proved all that. This is a different situation. And you're right. It wasn't because he's trying to show everybody how fast he is. So, Who's
he ain't Emmitt Smith? He ain't Emmitt Smith. Just to say
he's not Emmitt Smith. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
He's not Emmitt Smith. Yeah. Who do we got at number 2, man? Who do we got at number 2?
No.
Travion Henderson. Come on, MJD. What are we talking about here? Now we're going ludicrous.
Nope.
Now he's off the rails because I know me and you disagree on this, but I actually think Judkins is better than Henderson. I do. I think he's better running back than Henderson, but that doesn't mean Henderson's bad. But I'm sorry, he's not the second best running back in this draft. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's hell no once again. But listen, you see the background. I'm a diehard Buckeye, man. But both of the Buckeye boys is dogs. They both in the top 5. But no. Travion Henderson. And see, I done figured it out already, by the second choice. He going with them Smurfs at the running back.
I was just going to say.
He picking Smurfs. Travion is about 5'9", 5'10", about 206 pounds. Now, he fast as an alley cat.
Right.
He get the ball. He's up out of there, bro. Anywhere on the field. But that's MJD. He being biased. Why you picking Smurfs at the top? Stop that, MJD. No, it's not that. No.
Yeah, no. Not Henderson. MJD's on that Thunderbird. He was on that Thunderbird making that list. Either that or he was on that night train. One of the two. One of the two. Who do we got at number 3, man?
Let me see. Hell no. No way, man. What?
Lord.
Go ahead, B. I'm sorry, man.
No. You don't have to be sorry. You don't have to be sorry. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Now, here's the thing about Cam Skattebo. I think Cam Skattebo has a place in the National Football League. I absolutely believe he's got a place in the National Football League. But what is that place in the National Football League? I mean, the third best back in this draft?
What?
Come on, man. What? There's so many running backs in this draft. I'm not saying Skattebo can't play, but come on, Big G. Third? He's the third best? What does he do better than the rest of these guys?
He's not even top 7.
No.
Matter of fact, let me explain this. Now, we have fun and do all this stuff, but when I'm telling you the guy that's sitting in the microphone ahead up at top of me and me, we knows football, bro. We've been around the game our whole lives, right? This dude has already hit his ceiling. It's downhill from here. He's not going to improve and get better in the NFL. He's not fast. So that means he's not running away. You have defensive ends. And let me tell y'all, explain this. There's defensive ends that run 4.5s. Where's he going? And he's not going to outmuscle them because they super strong, bruh. Bruh, you're going to get mopped in the NFL. He's about the 7th or 8th, maybe 9th best running back. This is ridiculous. MJD, you need to be fired from the NFL Network today. Fired. Because this is ridiculous. Get up out of here.
Man, I'm sorry. I busted out laughing. Our man Leonard Dodd said with the super chat, appreciate it, number one. Thanks for supporting the channel.
I see
He
it.
said MJD is sniffing fentanyl.
Hey, man. And that boy done took it another level. He done took it another level, dog. He done went from the liquor to the straight hardcore opiates, boy. Lord have mercy. I feel him. I understand it.
Oh man, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it because it's ridiculous. What is he basing this on?
I don't know.
There's
man.
no logic. There's no reasoning at all to this. This is garbage. This is trash.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't know where he's getting at with this. And maybe, look, I understand that television is entertainment. And look, you can't put the same list together because nobody's going to care about his list if it wasn't different than everybody's. I understand that.
Yeah.
But at some point, Big G, credibility has to come into play.
Yeah.
You know, and Cam Scatterboo is not the third best running back on this list. I don't care what anybody says. We got Big Pun saying if he was black, he'd be a first rounder.
Hell
Again,
no.
The ignorance, I just can't take it anymore.
No way. No way no way. He wouldn't. I wouldn't care if he was purple. He ain't a first rounder, dog. He's not.
No,
he's not.
He is not. Arch Baby Doll wonders what he's smoking. Hey, I mean, maybe he was smoking it. Maybe he's smoking the fentanyl and he wasn't sniffing it, Arch Baby Doll. Who knows? But Lord have mercy.
He's smoking ganja.
Unbelievable.
He's smoking that ganja. I understand it. Ganja.
What do we got at number 4?
Oh, that's a dog right there.
Judkins now, that I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's a dog.
Yeah, he is. I might have him a little higher, but 4th ain't horrible. 4th ain't horrible. I like Judkins. I think he's good running back. I like him better than Henderson, but some people I think it's splitting hairs. Some like Henderson a little better. Some like Judkins a little better. Whoever you have first, I'm okay with it. But here's where we're at currently right now. Number 4. I know you love Judkins though, Big G.
Oh yeah, he's the first guy on this list to me that slotted correctly. The first 3 he got totally wrong. Totally wrong. Maybe Henderson not at 2, but within the top 4. But Scatterboo and Genty number 1. Come on, dog. Does he watch football at all? I mean, I know he played, but how is he evaluating his talent, man? I don't understand this, man. I don't get it.
Now here's the thing, and again, I didn't see it, but people had texted me and they said he made good points, you know, and he explained himself, but that doesn't make you right. And now again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to that. And if this is what he thinks, this is what he thinks. But again, just because you played football and you played at the position doesn't mean your evaluation is better than anybody else who's studying it too.
That's facts.
You can't give everybody a pass because you were better at playing than other people. We get that part. But when it comes to evaluating them, that doesn't always mean that your opinion has to count more than anybody else's who's actually studying the same thing that you're studying. That's all.
Bias. It's bias. It's totally biased, B. It's totally biased. You see, he put the Smurf crew right at the top. He put the Smurf crew right at the top, so you already knew it was biased right off the bat. It's biased. Yeah.
Who do we got at number 5, man?
Oh,
DJ Giddens. Now, y'all know how I'm biased. I don't know if Giddens is 5, but I don't think he's 7 on this list or on my list. But I like DJ Giddens. I like him. I've been a proponent of the Steelers drafting him in the 3rd round. Now, there might be a little early. Maybe it is. Maybe it ain't. But I like DJ Giddens, people. Fast, shifty, can catch out of the backfield, will block, loves contact when it comes to blocking, does not shy away from linebackers blitzing, loves it. I like Giddens. I think this was perfect at 5.
B, if he's there in the third round, we ain't got no choice. We got to take him. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, Steelers Nation, all the people listening to us, watching us on the podcast, if he's there in the third round, it's no choice. Run the car to the podium. That's how much I'm sold on this kid. This kid is outstanding. B, it's your alma mater. But,
Mhm.
while you talking to me about him, I went back and researched and watched tape, man. This kid is outstanding, man. And you know what I like about him the most, man? I like his first wave. So when he gets that first hit, that first set of contact, and how he shifts off of that and what he does after contact,
Yeah.
I saw him a few times when he was up in the hole, man, he got cracked. And he got up out of there, bro. And when I mean up out of there, he scored like
Right.
50 yards touchdown, 47 yards touchdown. I was like, this boy's a dog. Yeah, let's get him in the third, bro. Let's get him
And
in the
not
third.
to
I like
mention
him.
about DJ Giddens, he's still got room to grow because when
Yeah.
he came to Kansas State, he didn't even know how to be a running back. I mean, he got recruited as a back, but he didn't know how to run. Like, he just ran with his shoulders high. He never
Mhm.
dipped a shoulder, wasn't elusive,
Yeah.
didn't have any moves. He just, okay, there's the hole. I'm going to run to it. That's it. He
Yeah.
learned how to be a running back his last 2 years at Kansas State, and it shows. It
Yeah.
shows. And he's a guy that we just got to pay attention. If he's around in the third round, Steelers would be it would behoove them to try to draft him there. So
If
who
they
do
don't pick
we
him,
have?
if they don't pick him, me and Omar are gonna have an issue.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. Listen, I ain't scared of Omar Khan, bro. We're gonna have an issue, bro. We're gonna have some issues. You need to get
absolutely,
this together, bro. You need to handle your business with the draft. So go
absolutely,
get him. Yeah.
absolutely. Who do we got at number 6?
Oh,
RJ Harvey. I
oh.
mean, the only thing about RJ Harvey, he didn't catch the ball a lot at UCF, but they didn't ask him to do it. It's hard to evaluate somebody and say he can't do something if
Mhm.
they don't ask you to do it. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? It's like,
Mhm.
hey, well, this guy can't catch the ball out of the backfield. Well, they didn't ask him to do it.
Yeah.
Their offense wasn't built around throwing the ball to the backside of the backfield. So,
Mhm.
they didn't ask him to do that a lot. But as far as just running,
Mhm.
RJ Harvey is a very good running back. Very good running back.
Yeah, when you put on his film, actually for the last 2 years, he is one of the most impressive backs. I think he's a top 5 back based on the film that you put on, man. And, B, when I do film study, I just don't watch when you play opponents that you're supposed to beat or teams that is equal to you. I want to see how you play against the big boys
Right.
because that's the closest you're going to get to playing an NFL roster of defense. Man, his film against some of the big opponents that they played over the last 2 seasons, oh yeah, running. Run him. He can get it done. He could easily be a 2-contract NFL back. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him, I wouldn't be mad because he fits in
Correct.
perfect with our system.
That's the thing about Harvey. Also, they had just horrific quarterback play this year at UCF. Horrific.
Mhm.
Not even bad. It was horrific. And he
Mhm.
was still able to put up the yards that he was able to put up.
Yeah.
So if they just had just decent quarterback play, who knows how many more yards he could have went for. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I like him. I don't know if I like him at 6, but I like him. Who do we got at 7? This starting to piss me off, be honest with you.
Yeah, because somebody missing. That's you
Oh
know
my
what?
God. Yeah.
I'm done. You know what? Go ahead, because I'm about to hit him with the sign. Go ahead, man. Let me hit this poll. Go ahead, bro. Right here. This is what you get, MJ. That is ridiculous. That's number one. That's number one. That's the number one running back in the draft right there. Number one. Stop that, bro.
Unbelievable.
Dumpster fire. Get him out.
Unbelievable. Like, I
Unbelievable.
mean, look, I respect Maurice Jones-Drew. I really do, because I thought he was a real good running back. But if you're trying to just prove a point, if you're trying to just, okay, I'm going to make some entertainment value, then fine. I just come out and say that. But to put Amari in Hampton, who a lot of people, including myself and Big G, a lot of people that get paid to do the analysis have him as the best back. Now we're talking about him being the 7th best. Come on, man. What are we doing? Come on, man. This is ridiculous.
You know what, man? I've never done this for a guy who would retire from the NFL because I think if you have years of service in the NFL, you were good. And even more so, I'm not saying he's Hall of Fame, but he had an outstanding career. But MJD, you as a commentator, you a scrub, dog. You're a scrub. You are a scrub. They need to take a microphone out from in front of your face because you have absolutely no clue what you're talking about concerning
Right.
evaluating talent. And I tell him that to his face.
Right.
MJD, come on, Steelers Almighty. I dare you to come in here in the dojo. You're gonna get jacked up, bruh. You
Right.
get jacked up because you can't evaluate talent. Something wrong with you, bruh. You missing something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And we got people in the chat trying to justify it that are just in here lying, saying that Hampton runs a 4.6. The man ran a 4.4,
What?
I think a 4.45 or 4.46, not no 4.6. I mean, there's no reason to just come in and lie to try to be right. Y'all know I don't play that. You know me and Big G don't play that. If you want to say something, say something. Have an opinion. Fine. We don't have to agree, but you can't just lie to try to be right. Gee, what are we doing, Big G?
He had a top 7 combine run, bro. He was top 7 running backs at the 40 at the combine. Google it. I mean, this is simple.
Yeah.
Just look it up. He was top 7. Come on, bro. And he weighed like 220 pounds. He weighed like, so B, this last thing I'm going to say. Him at running back versus Najee Harris at running back is two completely different stories. Najee Harris ran a 4.66. This dude ran a 4.42. Look at his yards after contact, bro. Watch how and listen, he ran in a zone run scheme at Carolina. Stop that, bro. I hope to God at 21. Now, I might not, there's a couple of guys I like, but at 21 and some of them other dudes is gone, you better get that card up there. You better get it up there.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, you know how I am. I am diabolically opposed to taking a running back in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on how the draft goes, if D tackles ain't there, quarterback ain't there, if Amari and Hampton is available, I'm taking them.
Facts.
I'm absolutely taking them. So,
yeah. No doubt.
And now people are saying in pads he looks like Najee. And somehow pads are 40 pounds and you can't run. And I'm like, dude, it's okay to just be wrong. It's fine. You don't have to try to justify being wrong. You tried to say he ran a 4.6. Now it's in the pads he runs a 4.6. Okay, got it. We get it. But again, it's okay to just be wrong. It's okay.
Facts.
And MJD, like I said, I love him. I think he's great. But this list is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage.
It's the worst list I've ever seen in my life concerning evaluation of position. In my whole life. You got Cam Scatterbo at number 3. That right there, that kills the list. This is the worst list I've ever seen.
They had a fullback at 3.
Yeah, what kind of? I know you live alone, bro. I'm telling you, I tell him to his face. I tell him, come on the show, MJD. I'm telling you, I got something for you, bro. In the dojo, you're gonna get toe up.
Oh, goodness gracious. Like I said, the list, ooh. There's
Horrible.
some I like, some I don't like. Most I don't like. I shouldn't say some. But yeah, I didn't like that list at all. Hopefully, chat, the Steelers aren't evaluating their running back room and their running back board based on MJD's list. Because if they are, we're in trouble.
Fired. MJD, even before you get the job, you fired. Even before you fired right off the bat. You fired. Get him out.
Yeah, Zay said it's a dog water list. I agree.
It's facts.
100% dog water list. I 100% agree. So, Big Pun in the chat talking about Njegbu didn't run the 40 at the combine, but he did on his pro day. So
and ran a 4.43 too.
Correct. So
and guess what? Guess what? This is what he don't want to mess with me, right? I was down at the Woody Saturday. I got the official times for everybody with a picture with it. We're standing with Brian Hartline with a picture. Punishment, don't start to mess with me, bro. I know what that boy ran. I know what he ran.
Hampton's a second rounder. A lot of the running backs might be second rounders. A lot of them. So
yeah,
nothing wrong with it. I mean, I guess people act like there's nothing wrong with being, or there's something wrong that as far as being drafted in the second round of the NFL, like that's a problem. That's not a problem. That's not a bad thing to be drafted in the second round. I'm sorry, people. It's just not. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. There's worse things in the world that, oh, man, I was a second-round draft pick in the National Football League. My life is over. Come on, people. Got to be better. Got to be better than that. As far as the list, though,
Yeah,
not
it's
sure I
horrible.
like it. Did y'all like that list, chat? I'm guessing no, because I'm seeing your comments. I'm guessing y'all didn't like it at all. So Mark
Hey, man,
Malone says it needs Caleb Johnson
and
and Tootin, that Tootin dude.
I could see adding Caleb Johnson to the list. Taking
Correct.
Cam Scatterboo out. I could see take Cam
Correct.
Scatterboo out of there and put Caleb Johnson. Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
and then Leonard Dodd said Le'Veon was drafted in the second round.
That's
Le'Veon Bell was
facts.
pretty good, till he had the world's worst agent that not only lost him money, but gee, many Christmas lost him money, lost him his career. But second round draft picks that's okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
facts.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's
all
guaranteed
right,
bread.
let's
It's
move on,
guaranteed
man.
bread. It's guaranteed money. Yeah, come on with it. Guaranteed
Let's
5
move
years.
on.
Mhm.
So, the Steelers had their pre-draft press conference today.
Mhm.
Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan came out. They said some stuff. I don't know if we agree. Mike Tomlin's going to give us the Tomlinisms. There was a whole lot of that. We're going to basically play 5 clips for you guys to hear, and then we're going to talk about it. So the first one is talking about the quarterback plan. Let's go to that clip real quick, and we'll go from there.
We discussed in Palm Beach a couple weeks ago. We go to camp with 4 quarterbacks. Right now we have 2 on the roster, and all options are on the table. And how we acquire those last 2, I assure you, we'll have 4 when we get to Latrobe.
The Aaron Rodgers situation have any impact on your strategy or approach in the draft?
It does not.
Okay, Big G. So we hear that. So basically, Omar Khan says we're going to camp with 4 guys. Right now we have 2. And basically, everything's on the table on how we get those other 2 quarterbacks. First off, let's start with that. Are you glad to hear that?
Yeah, can I decipher what he's saying? Because this is GM talk. What he's telling you is that we're going to draft a quarterback. If Rodgers joins us, there's 4. If Rodgers doesn't, we're going to pick a guy off the street to bring him in as a camp arm. There it is. That's how we're going to get to 4. Either we're drafting 1, Rodgers is going to come in and join us. There's the 4. Or if Rodgers doesn't, we're going to pick a guy off the streets to give a camp arm and give us 4. That's what he said.
Correct. Correct. And that's basically the scenario there. And to be quite frank, I think Skylar Thompson might already be the camp arm. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's what's going to happen. They're leaving the door open for Rodgers if that's the case. But we're definitely going to draft a guy. Now moving on to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin basically came out. What we've all said all along is that whether Rodgers comes or not, me and you and a lot of people have said it doesn't change what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do on draft day. None of that is going to change their plan. And Tomlin's coming out and telling you, yeah, whether he's on our team or not, we're still going to make our plan. And then if he joins us, great. But if he doesn't, we're moving forward. I like that approach, actually. I don't know if I necessarily wholeheartedly believe it. Or I guess I should say I believe in the plan, but I don't believe that they're not still holding out hope for Rodgers. I believe that they still are, unfortunately. But that's kind of where we are with this. Tell me what you think, Big G.
I mean, B, I agree with what you're saying. The deal is if we get Aaron Rodgers, he probably might go down in history as one of the best bridge quarterbacks. To get from our old quarterback, bring a guy in just to settle us down for a year, and then pass it on to the young guy. So I'm not one of those guys that's just like, I hate Aaron Rodgers, but in my mind, it's time to move on with or without him. If you want to join us, we're available. If not, then we're going to push on down the road. But if you join us, you can definitely help us in 2025. So I like the way he did it. That wasn't a Tomlinism that we always get. He was straight, direct, and to the point, which
Correct.
I'm feeling. Yeah.
Next clip we got here is trading George Pickens. Of course, they got asked that question. Here's what the guys had to say about it.
No, we're glad we have George and DK here. I think they're going to be exciting for everyone to watch. Excited to have DK here, but no.
I mean, to me, it sounds like, I mean, he said no. He said it a couple different times. Big G has been on the trade George Pickens bandwagon. I don't think so. Look, I think the Steelers are under the impression, look, if we can get one of these rookie quarterbacks to work out for us, we can keep and we can pay George Pickens when it's time to pay him. We got DK, we got GP. We need to move forward with both. That's the impression that I think the Steelers need to go with. These guys are young. You know, it's not like one of them is 31, 32 years old. They're not. They're young guys. Look, there's worse things in the world paying two big-time wide receivers while you're still developing a quarterback. Teams do it all the time. The Steelers need to be in that mold. I am off of the trade George Pickens bandwagon. I'm never sure that I was really on it, but I think the Steelers need to keep him. They need to keep him. He's talented. Make it work.
I'm not mad if they trade. First of all, let me say this. I love GP. I think he's a great player. I think he needs to grow up. Yes. But I'm not mad if they trade him. Okay, number one. But number two, bro, did you see how Tomlin looked at Omar Khan? That's like me and you being in the same room and looking at each other. You don't know for sure what I'm going to say. Right? I picked up on that. I read body language. I get paid to do that. I'm a therapist and a counselor. So really what that showed me is that for the right price, GP is up out of there. And listen, I'm telling y'all, don't get mad, but emergency to break glass is a GP trade for a second and a fourth round draft pick. If the right call player comes around and we want to get back in the second at the right position, and we can get a second and a fourth for GP, one of those picks between the one we pick in the first round and the one we pick in the second round is a wide receiver. So, and listen, I'm not mad at that. I'm not.
Here's the thing, though. At some point, you have to pay talented guys.
Facts.
You know? And you don't always get talented guys with draft picks. Now, look, I understand that George Pickens is a 100% crash out. He's that.
Yeah.
However, I mean, we've talked about it as far as a talent and just talent alone. George Pickens is in the top 10 of wide receivers. He might be in the top 7 as far as just talented guys when you just stick to that. I mean, why are you trading that? And that's my only thing is, look, we've dealt with worse in the locker room. I mean, from Plaxico Burress, Santonio Holmes, you know, the Antonio Browns, Clace Chapels, Juju Smith. I mean, we've dealt with knucklehead receivers forever, you know. And I mean, Deontay Johnson, I mean, I get it. But other than AB, were any of those guys as talented as George Pickens? I mean, strictly talented? I don't think so. They were good, but I don't know if they were as talented as him. And at some point, you just have to pay talented guys. You can't have a room full of choir boys in your locker room. It doesn't work that way in the National Football League. Hell, it don't work that way at your job. So if it doesn't work that way at your job, what makes you think it's going to work that way in a locker room? It isn't. You have to contain them. You have to keep them under control. But I think at some point, it's, hey, man, he's too talented to give up. We can team him up with DK, which brings me to my next point. Where would you rank them? Where do you rank those two, Big G? If they stick together, let's say the Steelers pay Pickens, where are we going to rank these two guys?
Top 7. As a tandem, top 7. But I got to ask a scenario before I answer that. If you had, this is your options. GP, that's your option right there. Trading GP and walking out of it with Omarion Hampton and Emeka Egbuka. Which one you doing?
I mean, GP's more talented than him.
Okay.
And I've seen it on a football field in the National Football League. Okay. And he's what, 25? Okay. I don't think you get rid of that.
Okay.
For somebody that you don't know.
I'm just asking. Yeah, I'm just asking. Like if you know, because that might be some of the thinking. I'm not saying to all the Steelers upper level, but they're saying, okay, if we can go young, get off that contract that we don't have to deal with, and reboot the wide receiver room, it might be worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
But if they keep GP, then yes, they're a top 7 duo in the league. As long as we got the quarterback. I mean, from a talent standpoint, it gets ugly. First of all, who you double teaming? Because once you
Right.
make that decision, the other guy's got a one-on-one on the other side. So, or if not, the tight ends are going to become the greatest tight ends in NFL history because they running up the seam on a nickel corner or a slow linebacker every freaking time. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I see it both ways. Maybe just for me.
Danny Littlejohn with the super chat says if Sanders falls to 15, got to trade up to pick him. Absolutely not. You got to read the room on that case. He falls to 15. Nobody else is taking a quarterback until the Steelers pick at 21. So no,
Facts.
you don't need to move up.
Yeah, facts.
But my thing is, I don't know why you need to reset the wide receiver room. I just don't think you need to do that. But either way, I get it. Let's move on, man. We got the next video talking about Jaylen Warren. See what the guys had to say about that.
Mike, this one's for you. You picked up Kenneth Gainwell. You've got a really good running back class, it looks like, in the draft coming ahead here. What's your outlook on Jaylen entering this season? He's a guy that's obviously he's carried a lot for you here. Is he an RB1 type? Can he handle the load?
I certainly feel comfortable with his ability to do so. He got hampered by injury some in 2024. He appears to be ready to answer that. I know he's really excited about his opportunity. I don't think myself or anyone within the organization question his talents in regards to managing, the ability to manage potentially that role.
To me, that's Mike Tomlin again, giving Tomlinisms. Yeah, we're going to give him the opportunity, but we're drafting a guy. That's Mike Tomlin saying, yes, we're going to give him that opportunity, but we are 100% drafting a running back. Chat, I don't know if you all heard anything different than that, but that's what I heard out of that is that, yeah, he was hurt in 2024. Nobody disagrees with him, but the bottom line is we'll give him an opportunity, but we're drafting a guy. Big G, did you hear anything different than that?
I heard the exact same freaking thing. But what the reason why he did it is because Jaylen Warren signed his tenure today.
Correct.
So out of respect, Jaylen Warren signed your tenure. Okay, we're going to give you an opportunity. And that's probably the same conversation that he had with Jaylen Warren prior to him signing the contract. He signed his tenure. We're going to give you an opportunity to be RB1. But no, we got to go get a guy. We got to go get a guy that can handle 20 carries. We got to go do it. So, yeah, I'm with you, B. I'm with you 100% on this one, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I like Jaylen Warren. I like what he brings, but I've said it a million times, and I'll continue to say it. Jaylen Warren is a 12 to 15 max touch a game guy, not carries, touch. That means catching, passing, or running, whatever you want to do, but 15 times a game is his absolute max. I don't think the Steelers need to do anything different than that, man. They just need another guy. I'll be honest with you. I'm still puzzled that the Steelers brought in Gainwell. Like, why do you need 3 running backs in the National Football League like that? Like, you're not going to the third. Like, how often does an NFL team go to the third guy? Like, I know the Steelers did it inexplicably last year with Cordell Patterson. I had no idea what they were doing. But teams don't just, hey, man, we're going to run 3 running backs out there. How often? Like, why? What are we doing? Like I said, I like the fact that Jaylen Warren's on our football team, but let's just be honest. Jaylen Warren's a change of pace guy, Big G. He's not an every down guy.
That's facts. And you know why they got Atwell? Because Warren has an injury history. And they need somebody to spell him. So they're going to go get the guy to replace Najee in the draft. And then Atwell's in case Warren goes down. That's the whole reason. They're the same back. That's why they got him. That's not rocket science, bro. That's how we do.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I don't get it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's a Mike Tomlinism all the way. Like I said, and he basically, because he didn't, if he was the guy, you know how Mike Tomlin is, he would just say it. Hey, yes, he's going to be RB1. We look forward to having him in that position, and all he said was, well, Warren's excited about the opportunity, but he didn't say, yeah, Warren is definitely our guy. He's going to be RB1. He's worked hard for this, and we're excited about giving him the opportunity to be that guy. Yeah, we didn't hear any of that. All we heard was he'll get an opportunity, and we're going to draft a guy. That's what I got out of that. So,
I'm
moving on to the next one, talking about trade talks, just trades in general.
You brought it up in your opening comments about the prospect of potentially trading back. You guys haven't done that in a while. What has it been? I'm sure you've had calls every year, but why has it always been that you decided to not do that? And when it comes to the valuation of why you might, what do you think would talk you into doing it?
Talking about the first round?
Yeah.
I think the key, the way I look at it is you never really want to trade away from a really good player that can help you and the right guy for us. We've identified, by the time we get to Thursday, we'll have identified certain guys that we will not trade away from. And that's just sort of how it's worked out. A couple of years ago, we traded up to get Broderick. He was the guy we wanted, and we're open to it. So,
I mean, I like it. He's got an attitude about it, but he's just the Steelers aren't trading up, man. They're not moving up this year, Big G. Doesn't make sense. Teams are wanting. First off, what are you willing to give up just to move up? I don't think they should give up anything. I think they should just stay right where they are. And the guys that they want, I feel like there's a plethora of guys that will be available based on the need and who they want. Just stick right where you're at. Don't worry about it. Don't move. Now, if you could move back a couple spaces, but again, my thing is, if you move back 2 or 3 spaces, let's say you move back 3, for what? An extra 5th round pick? Because you ain't getting no second, you're not getting a 3rd, and you're not getting a 4th by moving back 3 spots. All you're doing is losing access to a better football player just to move back. So, hey, we moved back 3 spots, so we got an extra 5th round pick. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if you move back 7 spots or 8, that's something different. But you still lose access to better football players just so you can say you have a 2nd round pick. I'm just not sure that's the case, man. I don't know. I just look at it as we used our 2nd round pick to get a big time wide receiver. We already did that. Deal with it and let's move on.
Yeah. I like the fact that he's saying for the first time in a long time they're willing to trade and gamble the pick per se, because you don't, like, B, with draft picks, you never know which way they're going to go. So if they put themselves in position to trade backwards, I'm not mad. But I also heard him something that me and you have been saying all along, that we have players that are slotted to be at pick 21, multiple. So I think in my opinion, there's 4 or 5 guys that they're okay with taking them at that position. And if those 4 or 5 guys are not there, they're going to try to move back. And listen, I'm the guy that's been saying all along, I wouldn't be mad at the Steelers, even though I know it sounds crazy, trading all the way out the first round. If they could walk out of this based on depth of position of need for us, running back and defensive tackle,
Right.
If they can walk out of this thing with 2 second rounds and 2 third rounds, I'm happy. Because I think the quality of depth of what you can get at running back and at defensive tackle, 4 picks within those 2 rounds is well worth versus just sitting at 21 and taking a player just to say we took one. That's just my way I evaluate talent, man.
Nope. You're exactly right. There's people in the chat, and I'm just asking this question. People keep saying move up to 15 to draft Shedeur Sanders. Why are we moving up to 15? Like, that doesn't make any sense. 15 is the Falcons. You think the Falcons are taking a quarterback, or the Cardinals or the Bengals or the Seahawks or Tampa or Denver? You think any of those teams are going to draft a quarterback? And you even look behind. The only team that I could say behind the Steelers that are looking to get a quarterback might be the Rams. They might move up. Other than that, nobody's drafting quarterbacks. Yeah. So if they got past 14 with the Colts, which I'm not certain that'll happen, but if it does, what are we doing? Like, we don't need to move up to take Shedeur. That doesn't make any sense. None of those teams are going to be drafting a quarterback. None of them. And even the teams behind them aren't drafting a quarterback. So just be patient. Just be patient. If that's the move, that's the move. But there's no reason to move up, I don't think. And my man says the Seahawks might. They just gave Sam Darnold $1 trillion.
Yeah.
They're not going to move up to take Shedeur Sanders. They're not
Yeah.
going to do that. If this was next year and Sam Darnold had already played for you a season, I could see, yeah, okay, but don't get me wrong. Seahawks are going to do whatever they're going to do. It wouldn't make sense, but
Yeah.
either way, there's no reason to move up. Not in this draft, Big G.
No, and the Seahawks is trying to trade Howell right now to get draft capital. So they sold on Sam Darnold. That ain't going nowhere. But that's Steeler fans living in their fears, thinking that the Browns or the Giants might jump back in the first round and jump in front of us. If they jump, leapfrog, leap. Go ahead and do what you need to do. I'm not getting suckered into that to jump up and give you, man, do you know how many points it's going to take you to go from 21 to 15? You're giving up all kind of capital. Heck no. Sit there and just wait. Sit there and wait.
Correct. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. So, and I get it. The Rams and the Saints, they could draft a QB. We'll let them because the Steelers ain't moving up to 9 or in front of 9 to get a quarterback. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Last one that we got, defensive tackle talk. Last video that we have, see what the guys have to say about defensive tackle.
Mike, what are you looking for or need from a defensive lineman when it comes to you?
You know, this is a deep group in that area, and they come in many different shapes and sizes, and I just think that's a component of it. Some guys are power players who happen to be athletic. If you're talking about elite interior defensive linemen, some guys are oversized athletes, and it's the same in Sunday ball. Some guys are power players who happen to be athletic. Some guys are oversized athletes, and oftentimes that means that they get the job done in a different way, but the job gets done. And it's our job as organizations, and particularly as coaches, to utilize their talents. And so we cast a big net. We appreciate different modes of operations, if you will. And whoever we do business with, we're going to work to highlight their skills and how they play and how they produce plays.
Both Omar and Mike, you guys looked at several different defensive tackles and pre-draft visitors. Does the different style that these guys have and how they might fit with what you currently have on the defensive line impact you guys' plan, or do you guys look to just get the guy that you think is the best defensive tackle, period, and say, like, that's the priority, or are there styles that you're looking to find in this class?
Yeah, from my standpoint, you want to get as many good players as you can, regardless of the position, and obviously that matters. I'll let Coach answer that. Some of the rest of it, but obviously, what they do matters, but just get as many good players as you can.
I think, and this probably goes for any discussion about any position group, the higher you're picking in the draft, the less you're concerned about schematic fits, because their pedigree should supersede schematic fits, and the more marginal the pedigree, the more you better identify the schematic fit. And so later in the draft, that's probably more significant discussions regarding schematic fits than at the top end of the draft. Those animals at the top end of the draft, I'd imagine, fit in any system of football, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams.
So first off, I want to say it was a lot of Mike Tomlinism BS at the beginning, but at the end, I like what he said, Big G. I like that he said, the better the pedigree, which, the better the player, means he can fit into whatever we're trying to do. Because at first I thought, oh, well, hell, that means they're not even trying to take a D tackle, early. But then when he says that, it's like, oh, okay. To me, now it means that they're taking a defensive tackle with 21. And that's the guy that they want because, hey, we got to stop the run. The higher the pedigree, he can fit into whatever we are trying to do versus taking a guy later in the draft where they're not as good and they got to fit into a scheme. I like that approach, Big G.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what he said, because like you said, there was a lot of coach speak. What he said was, if Kenneth Grant or Harmon is available in the first, we're going to take him because we're going to need a dog. But we're not subjective to not take a Walter Nolan because the talent is so high, because he's an athlete that they turned into a defensive tackle. And then what he said is later on in the draft, when you start talking about third and fourth round, we need a guy who's going to fit our team schematically. So that's when we're going to go. If we go get a Walter Nolan in the first, Maybe in the third or the fourth, we look at a J.J. Pegasus. Maybe at the third or the fourth, we look at a Farmer. Maybe at the third or the fourth, we look at a Tyleek Williams, because we got to get a stud in the middle that's going to block up this whole thing on running. So I heard him say that if they're what I basically heard him say is, too, they're probably going to go D-tackle twice. And so if they go D-tackle twice, if you get the athlete that you can move around like a chess piece on the defensive line early, and then go get the big boy to go in the middle late, that's what Tomlin's talking about right there, bro, to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Claude Bishop with the super chat. Missed you the last couple of weeks, Claude. Appreciate you coming in. He said D lineman in the first and the third is a must.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a must, but it's a good.
I don't think you have to go both.
Yeah.
I think that's a waste. We got too many holes, but I think a D tackle in the first makes sense. I definitely think a D tackle in the first makes sense. So
yeah.
I don't know.
B, did you hear the thing about the medicals with Harmon?
Did you
hear
not.
about that? Oh yeah, dog. There's some issues with Harmon with the medicals.
What are they?
They talking about his knee is jacked up and his shoulder might be jacked up too, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you, I heard it today. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to fall out of the first round, but B, from experience, and our executive producer, they know from experience that when medicals come out late about a player, that means that one of the evaluators released that information.
Absolutely.
So somebody that is looking at drafting Harmon said, wait a minute, bro, you might not want to do this because the medicals say this is what's going on with this player. So there's been 3 guys whose medicals has come out late. Cortland Loveland, Harmon, and J.J. Pegasus. Their medicals came out late. So that means there's something going on with them. And the team that knows it don't want to be accused of not telling information. So they let it loose. Bro. So I don't know. I don't know about Harmon. I'm not all the way in.
I mean, I like Harmon. I like Grant. But somebody did say in the chat that, Mike Tomlin doesn't believe that nose tackle is that big of a position. And they're right. I mean, that's kind of his thinking, I guess, which to me, it drives me insane because if you're going to play a 3-4 defense, you can't play one without a nose tackle. I mean, you just can't. So, I mean, you can't have one without a nose tackle.
Yeah.
And the thing about Keanu Benton, we play Keanu Benton at nose tackle, he's not big enough.
Yeah.
He's just physically not big enough to play the position. It's a problem. At some point, you got to get somebody in there big enough to do it.
You need a 330er. You need a 330er. You got to get a 330er. Give me a 330er over the center. 330.
Correct.
Yeah.
Grant. So the thing about it is I'd predicted Grant may be gone early, but who knows? Who knows? Hopefully not. Switching gears here. Okay, people, now we're about to do the ping pong draft. So, it's one of those drafts where we didn't look up each other's picks or anything like that. We just said, draft, you go first, I'll go second, we'll go from there. So I'm getting mine pulled up. And we are going to get this thing. Well, at least I thought I was getting it pulled up, but it doesn't look like it. But we're going to get this thing. So I am ready to go and do our ping pong draft. Now, here is what the draft looked like previously. This is what you guys are seeing on the screen, what it looked like initially when we did ours a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some movement on these. We've had some moving, some shaking and moving. I mean, that's what all this is about. So I like it.
Our first draft wasn't bad. I would give that probably a B+, A-, bro. Our first.
It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, our first
we
draft.
both took Shedeur for the Steelers at 21.
You had to take him, bro.
Find out what we got today.
Yeah.
As far as the ping pong draft. In this one, Big G went first. So Big G, you do the honors.
It's no question. They done already told you. The Tennessee Titans is taking Cam Ward, #1 overall quarterback, University of Miami. He's the only quarterback worth going #1 in this draft. There's 2 guys after him, Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. They might be first-round draft picks, but they're not worth taking at #1. Cam clearly has separated himself, so the pick stays the same. Cam Ward, #1 to the Tennessee Titans.
Gotcha. At #2, I went Abdul Carter. I think teaming Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett is going to be a nightmare, not just for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but for the National Football League in general. Now, they don't have a quarterback. They got baby hands up there, so that's a saving grace. But either way, if you can team Abdul Carter up with Myles Garrett, you're doing something, people.
Boy, that's going to cause problems for the Steelers. We better get them tackles together because they're going to be causing problems, bro. At number 3, because my guy at 3 was Abdul Carter. At number 3, I take Travis Hunter. I think he's a no-brainer. I think Travis Hunter is going to have an illustrious career, and you pair him and Malik Neighbors up in New York, man, you're cooking with gas as far as that wideout position is concerned. And he's going to be serviceable as a defensive back. So I like Travis Hunter at number 3. And to be honest, in any other year, Travis Hunter might have been the number 1 overall pick. He's a dog, man.
He is. That's a good pick for them. Get to the super chat real quick by our friend Awareness and Accountability. He said, Big B, I'm Tomlin. Big G is Omar. We need to take over.
Let's do it.
Take over. If the pay is right, Big G will take over.
Yeah, right now.
If the pay is right.
Yeah, right now. Today. Call me, Steeler Nation. I'm available. We can talk it out. We can work it out.
Absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Wes? Glad you can make it tonight, man. We appreciate you. At number 4, I got New England Patriots taking I can never pronounce his last name, but I think it's Mimbu. Armand Mimbu, offensive tackle out of Missouri. Look, they got the franchise quarterback. Now get you a tackle to protect him for the next decade.
Man, his raw athletic score was off the charts, bro. That dude's like he razzed like a dang on running back. So and his film, man, he's raw, but man, he's a 10-year starter. He's a multiple Pro Bowler. So I like it, bro. I like that pick. So you took Mimbu at 4.
Yep.
So this is why I shake up the draft, man. All right, now hear me on this, y'all, because I've been listening to a lot of people, and I got the double headphones on. I got the ones on my ears, and my big cap got the headphones on too, so we got to listen double up in the streets, man. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars shakes the draft up by taking Ted McMullen at number 5. They have to fix Trevor Lawrence. They have to fix him. Trevor Lawrence's best years is when he had Ross, the wide receiver, and T. Higgins at Clemson. Those are 2 big 6'3", 6'4" targets. Trevor Lawrence can identify and throw the ball to give him a bigger catch radius. Because Lawrence's deal is he's not accurate. And he's been throwing to little small wide receivers the whole time. So now you give Ted along with Thomas, you're helping Lawrence out a whole lot. So I think that because they got a wild card, they got a defensive end, they got a receiver, they got a running back, they got a quarterback. Yeah, they shake it up and they go get Ted, bro. They'll get Ted at 5.
I mean, he's good. I think they should try to protect that quarterback. That's kind of been the issue, but giving him more weapons damn sure ain't going to hurt. So I like the pick. I like it. Yeah. At number 6, this is where I shook up the draft. Everybody keeps talking about Ashton Genty, but my thing is I don't care who you have at running back. If your offensive line stinks, then you can't run the football. And I think the Steelers kind of know that. So I think they take Will Campbell, tackle out of LSU, and put him as a left tackle. And then they go find them a running back later on in the draft. But I think you got to bolster your line. You got to fix the line first.
Yeah. Well, me and you both been talking about it. There's 3 tackles in the top 10, man. But that's just us because we know we got to protect our investment, which is that quarterback, bro. All right, so the number 7 pick, the New York Jets, man. In my right mind, if I could have traded this pick, it was out of there. I was trading the pick for the Jets because there's teams that want to get certain players because certain guys done fell. But since I have to stay with the pick, go get dang on Justin the weapon that he needs. Ty Warren, tight end, Penn State University, bro. This is a no-brainer. Ty Warner is a super talented player, and I'm saying he's like Brock Bowers. I'm saying it. I'm saying he's like Kelsey. He's like Brock Bowers. He different, bro. So in the NFL level, he going to show you how different he is. So you take that talent off the board with the Jets, go get you the tight end, Tyler Warren, man.
Gotcha. I like it. Carolina at number 8, I have him going Kelvin Banks. Look, you got Bryce Young. He's gotten beat up the last 2 years, started to figure some stuff out the second half of the year last year. Now give the man some protection, for crying out loud. And you could do worse because Kelvin Banks is very, very good. Kelvin Banks Jr. Out of Texas. I got him at number 8 going to Carolina.
Yep. Now, there's a lot of talk at number 9 that the New Orleans Saints is going to take Jackson Dart at quarterback because they're sold on him because of Kellen Moore and his coach and the pedigree. Nah, they're not doing it. Them are smoke signals, man. They have to get the replacement for Davenport, the defensive end. It's basically done. So you got to get a body type, size, and everything type player at that position. The guy who's jumping up all draft boards super high is Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M University. I think that's the replacement for Davenport, and they look to go maybe quarterback at pick 40, or maybe even trade back up at late first round to get the quarterback. But at 9, it's too expensive to take that pick, bro.
I mean, I agree. My thing is that Shamar Stewart, I mean, the production, 4.5 sacks in 3 years. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, even when you're playing against, the tune-up games, the McNeese States of the world, you can't get sacks in that game?
That's facts, bro.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Risky. I get the logic, just risky, but somebody's going to take that risk, Big G, so you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Chicago Bears at number 10. Again, I got O-line. That was their problem last year. I got Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. I think they're going to move up. Not move up. I think they're going to move in that direction. They got to fix the line. If they're not going to fix the line, I don't care how many weapons you have. It's not going to work. You got that quarterback back there that you think can play. Now get him an offensive line. Ben Johnson comes from Detroit. What did Detroit do to improve their football team? They fixed their offensive line first. And they fixed the O-line, the D-line, then they got everything else. Chicago's going to do that.
B, we didn't even know each other's picks, and 4 dang on offensive tackles came off in the first 10. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. And you're going to see it happen. All them folks is doubters out there. I'm telling you, them offensive tackles is going fast, bro. They're going real fast. That's a hot commodity. So if you want one, you might have to trade up to go get one.
Absolutely.
All right, at number 11, this is one of the biggest steals in the first round. The San Francisco 49ers draft Mason Graham, defensive tackle, University of Michigan. I got him pinned as a top 5 talent in this draft. And the 49ers are able to get this pick. They will run it to the podium because this is an outstanding player. His tape matches everything you've seen out of this kid, and he's a 10-year starter. You put him next to Nicky Bosa, you got issues out there in San Francisco, bro. So, I like Mason Graham at number 11, bro.
Absolutely. Could go higher than this, to be honest with you. He could absolutely go higher than this. But looking at it logically, 11's a good spot for him. They need a D tackle in San Francisco. I like that pick. At number 12, again, I live here in Dallas. If this happened, the Dallas Cowboys would be ecstatic if this man fell to them. Ashton Genty, running back out of Boise State. He's from Dallas. He's from Frisco, which just happens to be where I live. His high school is less than 5 minutes from my house. So if that happened, I mean, he grew up 5 minutes from the practice facility at the Star. It would be a Cinderella story. They would absolutely love him to be their running back. I'm not sure he makes it, but he could. He could, and Dallas will absolutely take him if they could at number 12. So that's where I have him going.
Yeah, love the pick, bro. Love that pick, man. That's a hometown hero coming home to do his thing. So, yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number 13, man, the Miami Dolphins, man. Listen, they need interior offensive linemen. And I'm telling y'all, my ears is to the streets. I done heard a lot of stuff. So this is going to be a shake-up pick in the draft. Gray Zeeble, interior tackle, offensive lineman, North Dakota State University. There's already rumblings out there that they want Booker. But when you actually put tape on tape, potential on potential, you got to protect the quarterback. Tua's out there with a dang on juggernaut helmet and stuff on, looking like this damn big hat that I got on. So you got to get a dude on the inside that can protect him and stop him from getting punished. So they're going to take Zeeble on the inside to protect Tua, bro.
Yeah, makes sense. They got to do that. They got to protect the guy. If he's going to be out there playing, with the injury history that he has, got to make sense. At number 14, Indianapolis Colts. This is where I dash a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans' hopes. And people keep missing the Colts as far as taking a quarterback. I don't know why. I think the Colts are primed to take a QB. I think they take Shedeur Sanders here.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets to us. Look, the Colts are paying Danny Dimes $14 million. They've already given up on Anthony Richardson, and for good reason. The Colts are taking Shedeur Sanders at 14.
Yeah, I mean, why would you not? And then it already gave up on Anthony Richardson. And listen, for all you Steeler fans, we ain't taking Anthony Richardson, not even for a 7th. I don't want him. He's horrible. So don't try to get that going on to you, the Steelers. He ain't doing it. Right? So let's move on. At 15, the Atlanta Falcons, they need a defensive end. Mikael Williams out of Georgia, homegrown kid, man, right there from the ATL. Man, it's going to do wonders for the Atlanta Falcons, man. And I actually think it's a great fit for their organization. You know, there's nothing like coming from Athens to Atlanta, man, and making the transition easy. So Mikael Williams is, and on a lot of draft boards, B, you know this, he's skyrocketing on a lot of draft boards, bro, based on his potential.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense for them, especially since they can't find a pass rush. 16, I got Arizona, Jalen Walker. Makes a lot of sense for what they need. A lot of edges in this draft, top end edges, I should say. And they definitely need one. Arizona needs a guy coming off the edge. And they haven't had one since what? Chandler Jones went berserk a couple years ago. So they need to try to find that. Jalen Walker's the guy.
Yeah. And listen, remember, every draft has a run, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the run. 3 defensive end rushers in a row. The Cincinnati Bengals, because they need a defensive end to replace Hubbard that just retired, and they don't know what's going on in Hendrickson. Give me James Pierce Jr., defensive end, University of Tennessee, man. He comes in and fills the void at that opposite defensive end of Henderson if he plays. Hey, good fit for the Bengals. There's the run of the defensive ends.
Absolutely. Next up, at number 16, Nick Amanamori, going safety. Seattle needs a safety. He's the best safety out there. He can do a lot. And it's before the Broncos because I think Seattle trying to move up and get one before the Broncos. I thought about quarterback here, but Shedeur's gone. There's no reason for them to reach. They can get a quarterback later. I think that's the pick.
Yeah, like the pick, man. And I think he's a great fit. I mean, they want to replicate the Legion of Boom in Seattle, so it makes all the sense to me with that pick. All right, here's another faller whose medicals they say is not right. Will Johnson, cornerback, University of Michigan to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think based on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' current roster, he could actually get a redshirt year where they wouldn't have to push him into play right away. So you could wait till after week 8, week 9, put him in position to play. Once he's healthy and medical, they play zone, they play man press. You know that old school Tampa too. That's how they get out down there. So he's a perfect fit because that's what they played at Michigan. So give me Will Campbell for Tampa Bay at pick 19.
Makes a lot of sense. 20, Colston Loveland. Again, medicals came out, got some issues, but they need a tight end in Denver. They'll use him in Denver. Sean Payton loves having a tight end that they can throw the football to. Makes a lot of sense at number 20.
Yeah. Hey, B, so this is the pick. This is the Steelers pick, number 21. Now, for everybody out there, both me and B took a pick at 21, right? Just like how we did on draft number 1. We had, I think it was Omarion Hampton and Harmon was our 2 picks in draft, the first mock. So now we're here at 21 again for the Steelers, right? Looking at the board, looking at our position of need, if this happens, Steeler fans, you guys are going to be ecstatic. Give me Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, University of Michigan. A dancing freaking panda, 6'3", 6'4", 336 pounds, legitimately runs a sub 4.8 40-yard dash. I've heard anywhere between a 4.77 and a 4.75 at 336 pounds is ridiculous. And go put the tape on because he's a monster. Now, and if you pair him in our defense, you got a nose tackle. You got a 10-year nose tackle. It's going to remind a lot of people of Casey Hampton.
Yeah, I like it. And that's the exact pick that I took too. I had Kenneth Grant. Looked at the board. He's there. Sometimes this draft stuff is we find a guy early. Then we do all the speculation and the rumors and all of that stuff. But when it comes down to it, a lot of times your first intuition is right.
Yeah.
And we were all saying Kenneth Grant at the very beginning of this entire process.
Mhm.
Everybody was saying Kenneth Grant, the Steelers need to stop the run, yada, yada, yada. Then we let the rumor mill get involved. And we're going here, we're going there, we're going here, we're going there. But when it comes down to it, our first intuition was right. Steelers got to take a D tackle. Now, somebody obviously can take one before we get to pick. I get it. But if he's available, the Steelers got to do it. That's
Yeah.
it. Steelers.
That's facts, bro. Yep. You up at 22, bro. It's you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is me at 22.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Los Angeles Chargers. Matthew Golden, wide receiver. I think the Chargers get another wide receiver. Look, they let McConkey. I like him. I'm still not sold on, I can't even remember his name. It's Butterfingers.
Johnson,
Who's that?
wide receiver out of TCU.
Yes, and I can't remember his name. They call him Skillet Hands. That's his nickname that Chargers fans have given him is Skillet Hands, which is troubling as a wide receiver if somebody's calling you Skillet Hands. Either way, I think this is a guy that they will take at this position. Give him Matthew Golden. Speed
Big
demon.
B. Ours baby doll said, if we get Grant, I'm going to find a bottle of Thunderbird. That's hilarious.
Lord
Ours baby doll said she going to find it. I understand it, bro. I understand it. Listen, so at pick 23, the Green Bay Packers select a wide receiver. They've been trying to talk to us to get GP from us, man. So they're just going to wait on it, get it in the draft. Let me get Emeka Buka, wide receiver out of Ohio State University. All-time leading receiver at Ohio State. He fits their scheme. He's going to come in and be their number one wide receiver. You put him with Jordan Love. You got a combination for the Packers for several years to go. So give me Emeka Buka at 23, bro.
Gotcha. 24, I got Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. He fits perfect in Brian Flores' scheme. I know what you guys are going to say. Man, I wish we had Brian Flores. I do too. I do too. Mike Tomlin just wouldn't allow it because I feel like Mike Tomlin gave him an opportunity. And then he was like, oh, man, this guy knows a hell of a lot more than what I anticipated. I can't have that. So we got to get this guy moving on because I don't need him being my defensive coordinator, which was a colossal mistake. But Malachi Starks fits perfect for what Minnesota wants to do on defense.
Yeah, man, I love that pick. That's one of the favorite picks of this whole first round I've seen so far, B. All right, man, you know how Big G get on, man. You know, I got to continue to shake up the draft. There's the tackles, we had a run. We had 4 guys taken in the top 10. The Houston Texans need a tackle. The next guy on the board is a project. So you can't get it now. You might have to trade. You might have to do something. And I look for the Texans to trade their pick. But if not, if they stay there, give me Travion Henderson, running back, Ohio State University, man. He fits them perfectly. And they have their Sonic and Knuckles, Joe Mixon, Travion Henderson, to go around with C.J. Stroud and them big boy wide receivers they got down there. Yeah, that's going to be a problem with Houston. It's going to be a problem. If they can solve the tackle, they'll be straight, bro.
I just don't know. The only reason that I say that is because they got Mixon and they got Dameon Pierce, and Dameon Pierce ain't a slouch. So now maybe they'll trade him or something like that. I'm just not sure that that's where they go. They got some other holes. They got a horrendous offensive line. The Texans got to fix that offensive line, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Not that Henderson's a bad football player. I just think Houston's got better needs.
Yeah.
Moving on. The Los Angeles Rams. They take Jahadi Barron, corner, and they need him. They need a corner. So I like that pick there. I think that, you know, he's good. A lot of people are underrating him as of right now, but give me that. Give me Jahadi Barron.
Yeah, I like the pick, man. He's the number one slot corner on the board. He fits their needs and he need help.
Right.
All right, y'all. I'm to the Ratbirds, man. Now, this was a hard pick for me because when I actually looked at it, I was like, damn, I got to pick for Baltimore, man. But I got to be honest about what they need. Baltimore needs a 10-year starter at defensive end. And I'm telling you, y'all can call me biased all you want to. You need to go out and pay attention to what these draft experts are saying. The guy that's jumped back on the first round based on his tape is JTT. JT Tuilatua, defensive end, Ohio State University. I heard Mel Kiper say it. I heard Todd McShay say it. I heard Joe Klatt say it. They ain't all saying it for no reason, bro. They saying stuff's been leaked out. And Baltimore wants a pedigree of a guy that he'll never be a 15, 16 sack guy, but he'll be 10 sacks for 10 years. And you won't have to go get another dude. He's going to be 10 sacks for 10 years. So I listen, y'all call me biased if you want to, but I'm telling you, he's going to jump into the first round. And when I say it, when it happens, B, I just want all y'all to come back and say, gee, you G Stradamus, bro. You G Stradamus because you knew that was going to happen. I'm telling you it's going to happen. Watch what I say. I'm telling you.
I'm not even saying they don't need a defensive end, but there's about 5, 6, 7 guys that have better tape than he does.
Okay.
You know, they're better than him. I get what you're saying, but come on, bro. I got to get on. That's an Ohio State pick.
Okay.
That's an Ohio State pick. Now, if you're right, you're right. But I come on, man.
I
can't get behind that one, brother. I cannot give. There's 5 or 6 other guys that you could have named that would have made sense before him.
Okay.
I'm not behind that one. Again, the need is right. I can't get behind the player. I can't get behind that one.
I understand it. Well, like I said, when he go in the first round, we'll see.
No,
maybe
right.
not at 27, but he going in the first round. I'm telling you.
You're right.
Yeah.
At 28, Detroit, I think they take Derek Harmon. He's available. He's there. They do it right. They build in the trenches. There's another opportunity to build within your defensive trenches.
Yeah.
You could have went edge here too because they need another guy on the other side of Hutchinson. But I like Derek Harmon. Put Derek Harmon next to Hutchinson and see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, I like the pick, man. At 29, the Washington Commanders. Now, listen, the Commanders went and spent big money in offensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive line, linebacker, and even spent some money in free agency at defensive back. They got to get a playmaker. They got to get a guy because they have probably the best RPO quarterback outside of Lamar Jackson in the NFL. If Omarion Hampton's sitting there for the Washington Commanders, run the card to the table, bro. Listen, they haven't solved it yet with Robinson. Austin Eckler is old as all get up, bro. You got to take Omarion Hampton, running back, Washington Commanders, to get an RPO guy to give you that threat because they're chasing the Philadelphia Eagles. They want to look like the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you solve that? Get the closest thing you can to Saquon and Omarion Hampton, bro.
Gotcha. Now I like that pick right there. I absolutely like that pick. Makes a lot of sense because Brian Anderson, you're right. Good back, but if you can upgrade, you do it. Then Buffalo at number 30, Walter Nolan. I love it. I love Walter Nolan that late in the draft. Put him next to Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. So I like them taking, again, Walter Nolan, a guy that good, that big of an athlete, that late in the draft. You could do worse. You could do worse.
Yeah, and it's the fit. I mean, all the draft boards and all the stuff I'm hearing, that's where he's slotted. Walter Nolan is slotted at the Buffalo Bills at pick 30 if they stay there.
Right.
So I like the fit, man. Pick 31. Now listen, the Kansas City Chiefs have to get offensive linemen because they've been figured out. So now this guy is a project at O-tackle, right? But he's worth the project because you can work it out. One thing that Andy Reid does is he develops talent. So, and he at all positions, everywhere he's ever went, he develops talent. So give me Josh Conley, offensive tackle, Oregon. I mean, he's a project and he's a reach. That's why I didn't have him slotted to Houston because he's raw talent. He's not really ready like that. But if they get him there, I think Andy Reid can mold him into a tackle that can help keep people up off of my homeboy. So give me offensive tackle Josh Conley at pick number 31 for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Gotcha. And then last pick of the first round, Philadelphia does it again. They go defensive line. They go edge. Mike Green out of Marshall. Moving up the draft boards, worked out well, incredible Senior Bowl. It's just kind of what Philly does. They just replace. They lost 2 defensive ends. Now they're going to replace one in the first round. Makes a whole lot of sense for them, Big G. Whole lot of sense.
B, that's what I was saying, that, this is where JTT or Mike Green are interchangeable, in my
Right.
opinion, because both of those teams are going to draft at the end. So, and these are the top two guys left on the board. So that's why, and I seen the live chat talking crazy. BG on Thunderbird and all whatever else. Just come back and tell me my apology. Give me my apology when it happened. Because I'm telling you, both me and B just flipped the picks, because I started to take Mike Green, and I think B would have been like, man, I need another defensive end right there. So don't be shocked if, like I said, JTT and Mike Green end up both in the back half of the first round of the draft.
So there is the ping pong draft. Just remember, everybody, as a reminder, I will be live on draft night in the theater room, watching it live like we did the last few football games of the year, getting live reactions. So these are the takeaways from the ping pong draft. We have the fallouts here. Jahad Campbell fell out. Zuri Thomas, he fell out. Donovan, Zeke Urike, again, name pronunciation. He fell out. Will Johnson dropped 8 draft picks from the first time we did this to the last time. But then we had guys move in. Colston Loveland moved in the first round. JTT moved into the first round with Big G throwing him up there. And then Amarian Hampton at number 29. So the biggest Greg Zabel moved up 18 slots. So that's kind of the overview of the draft, the ping pong draft. So Walter Nolan, yeah, he definitely fell as well from the first draft that we currently had. So it's just, we just don't know. But again, like I mentioned at the beginning, as far as where we took our draft, the whole first intuition is just we all thought D tackle, then the rumors and all the speculation, yada, 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 gets in the way. Where do we end up? D tackle at the end. So the Claude comes over with the super chat here. He says, G, you're going to need 7 more running backs in the second to win our bet. Sir Bishop is waiting. If Saunders and Grant are both there at 21, who are you taking?
If Shedeur Sanders, if the question is between Shedeur Sanders and Kenneth Grant, I'm taking Shedeur Sanders. I think B's taking Shedeur Sanders too. At 21, he's taking him. So and the bet is, B, so I said by the second pick of the third round, 10 running backs will be gone. And he said that if that happens, he's going to pay a $25 super chat. So, so that's what $25, and maybe on all channels I'm gonna get $25. Every channel I'm on, I'm gonna get $25. So yeah, I'm with it, Claude. Come on with it. Come with the bet.
I gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So we are at the portion show, people. Y'all know what time it is, man. The producer question got something crazy for us, I'm sure, again today. Again, we don't know exactly what it is, but he comes out hot and heavy with the producer question. We've had some good ones the last couple of weeks. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. So you can choose any player that was picked at position 21 of any draft from the last 4 seasons. Who becomes a Steeler? Is it defensive end Kwity Paye from Indianapolis? There's his stats. 26.5 sacks since 2021, 58 starts, 170 tackles. Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs. That was in 2022. The thing that's missing here on his stats, he's been an all-pro, a first-team all-pro.
Yeah.
Also, wide receiver Quentin Johnston from the Chargers. That was last year, or 2023. That's who I was talking about. The thing that's missing off of here, the Chargers have nicknamed him Skillet Hands.
Facts.
So they have nicknamed Johnston Skillet Hands.
Yeah.
And then linebacker Chop Robinson out of Miami. 1 start, 26 tackles. Did have 6 sacks, 4 passes defended. So I'll go first. To me, it's McDuffie. It's McDuffie. I don't care. Give me an all pro corner for the Steelers. Yeah. When the hell's the last time that happened?
Yeah.
Give me McDuffie.
Yeah. B, to be honest, I was thinking the same thing, McDuffie. I mean, we need to solve it. Could you imagine having him and JPJ right now in our cornerback room? Like, man,
right.
He'd be like sick. But on potential, bro, Chop Robinson, nice, bro. Like
No,
it
he
took
is.
him a minute. It took him a minute to get his feet. But Chop Robinson is nice down there in Miami, man. So I would go McDuffie 1B, but then number 2, I would go D, just based on potential. Because I think Chop's gonna have a breakout season this year, bro.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Quiddy Pay, 26 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
That's second for me.
Yeah.
You can talk to me about potential, but I see a guy that's doing it, that's
Yeah.
currently doing it right now. Give
Yeah.
me B, then A, then D, then skillet hands at C. So,
Skillet hands need to be F.
yeah,
It need to be F, not a choice. F. We ain't picking him ever. Never
yeah,
will we pick him.
man. Absolutely. Well, man, I appreciate everybody being in here, man. Thank you guys again for showing up and showing out like you guys always do, man. We really do appreciate it. Again, the big show every Tuesday night, 8 Central, or 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We appreciate everybody being in here. One thing is memberships. Again, remember, you guys saw it tonight. The people that were members, they were up on the screen all night long. That's part of the perks that you get as far as being a member of Steelers Almighty, man. There's 5 different levels. So make sure you guys, if you want to help support the channel that way, you get a lot of different perks with it. Make sure you guys come and show up. Big G, let
Yes, sir.
everybody know exactly where they can find you, my man, and where you're going to be draft day.
Man, listen, so I'm going to be in the Steelers streets on draft day, man, just to tell you the truth, man. But tomorrow night, I'll be on Smash the Gas on the KnoItAllz channel about a 7:10, 7:15 live as you get our pre-draft analysis 24 hours before the draft starts on the KnoItAllz channel, man. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you swing by there, hit a subscribe button, and watch the KnoItAllz podcast. Me, Tate Boy Fresh, and Kirby's over there doing our thing. Afterwards, I'll be on Pump Your Brakes podcast. We are the last podcast on Steel Curtain Network before the draft kicks off on Thursday. So we get our last at-bat, last crack, trying to crack the code for the Steelers and figure out what they're going to do concerning the draft. On draft day, I will be on multiple networks, including over here on Steelers Almighty with my boy Big B. I'll be on the KnoItAllz channel. I'll be on Steelers Almighty. I've been asked to come on other networks and just give analysis concerning it. So I'm going to be all over the place. But home base for me is like the KnoItAllz channel, and then over at my grandmama in them house over here, Steelers Almighty. So I'm going to be, if you want to really catch me, I'm going to be between one of those two places. But I promise you, I'll be on the Steelers streets the whole day on Thursday, man. And I'm looking forward to all of you guys joining us. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the KnoItAllz channel, please make sure you subscribe to the KnoItAllz, man.
Absolutely, man. Make sure you guys go subscribe over there. Appreciate everybody showing up tonight like you guys always do. Again, we will be live on Thursday. Live on Thursday for draft day. We're going to have some fun, man. We're going to have some fun. Just like at the end of the season where we watch the games from my theater room, we're going to do the same thing on draft day. I don't know if I'm going to get my Skittles. It's kind of jelly bean season, so I might have my jelly beans rolling with me. But either way, appreciate everybody in here. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. Remember all of that stuff, man. Do us a favor. Once this video is over, go hit that like button. Go leave a comment, man. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And aloha.